One. Hi everybody, I think we are live. Are we live? Yes, we should be live. Hi everybody, welcome to this new first webinar for this new food design webinar series. Our guest today, the first guest that we have for this series is Julia Varela, and we're going to talk about food design trends. Welcome, Julia. So before we start, just a couple of things for you guys, for those of you who don't know me or have just come to know me, to find me out. I have an online school called Online School of Food Design, where I teach food design, and I've been in the world of food design for quite a while, and I'm a consultant, and I've written a couple of books. My whole life revolves around food design. And of course, this channel, this YouTube channel where we are, is where I collect most of my thoughts. This webinar series is completely free, and I don't sell anything at the end of them, as sometimes happens with other webinars, I've noticed. I do them for the pleasure of chatting with people and for the pleasure of for the interest also in disseminating valuable, useful information with people who are interested in hearing them, listening to this. So, welcome everybody. The last thing that I want to say is that there should be a live chat somewhere here, and you are welcome and to ask questions at any time during this webinar there in the chat room, and from time to time I will be having a look and maybe ask questions to Julia, or maybe we'll leave them to the end. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how this conversation unfolds. But please feel free to join the live chat room and tell us, your name and where you're from where you are connecting to us. I'm in Italy, and it's 5 p.m. for me, and I forgot to make myself a cup of tea. And Julia is now in Spain, if I'm correct. So let us know where you guys are from. Without further ado, it's 5 p.m. at least in Europe, most of Europe now. I would think that I would like to stay within the 1 hour. We'll see what we can do. I'm not usually successful with that. The conversations are usually too engaging, but we'll see what happens. Let's start this. I'm very excited to have Julia here with us and to speak with her again. Julia, no, I'm going to let her talk about herself. I'm sure she can give way more details than I can. So, Julia, tell us who you are and how you came to the world of food design.
My name is Julia Varela. I was born in Argentina. I lived in several countries like Scotland, Peru, United States, and Spain, where I'm based nowadays. My story begins with my passion for food since I was a child, really, where one of my favorite days of the week was when my mother took me to the supermarket. Every new product I saw, I asked her to buy it for me so I could try it, observe it, and analyze it. This took me years later, of course. I studied nutrition and then a master's degree in food technology. And at that time, I understood that what I was passionate about was about creating healthy and sustainable food concepts, and also participating in the creation of brands and communication around these products. So I'm always up to date with the latest trends because it's one of my passions and my hobbies also, because every morning I'm reading newsletters and news about the food industry and see what's going on in the world. And I have worked for large multinationals and also as a consultant with some startups and small business in different departments. I started in the quality and development department for an ice cream company in Argentina, then in digital marketing teams, also creating some brands with course, as a food trends specialist. Um, I certified myself with Francesca with design thinking like 2 years ago, and I worked in some projects as a consultant also. At the end of 2020, I founded Kraut Food Studio with Natalie Restrepo, who is also a food designer from Mexico. And we work together there in the intersection between what is food trends, consumer insight, and concept design for food and beverage brands. Um, we found that nowadays a lot of new product development phase because they don't respond to a real consumer need or necessity, and we really want to work closely with the consumer on the entire process to avoid this on future products. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, thank you. It's very interesting because I myself I am finding myself also in this time uh, very often trying to explain my clients, sorry, the importance of connecting marketing to design and not leaving them as two separate things done by different people, etc. Brilliant. So my next question for you is like the elephant in the room, right? We are living in a very unique historical moment. The whole world is sharing this unique historical moment. So my question for you is, what do you think that food design can do for the global situation that we are living?
Yeah, I think that food design makes us wonder about everything and leave behind like assumptions. So first of all, I think that it's a new way of thinking and find solutions where maybe we think there are not. So I think it's really helpful for that. Related to COVID, I think that food design can make us take like better decisions in moments of chaos, like faster and also empathize with the consumer, which is happening to the people in that moment, and find solutions from there. Um, and also, I think that here is really important también all the sustainability part of food design because it's also a really important global situations we are living. And I think that the design phase of the product is really important to design like the materials, the process, how are we going to use the product, and what are we going to do when we are not using it anymore. So on the design phase, we are taking a lot of really, really, really important decisions. So I think food design can help a lot with that.
Thank you, Julia. So it sounds from the chat room, it sounds like they can't hear you very well. People can't hear you. It's weird because I can hear you perfectly. So I wouldn't know what we can do because I can hear you very well. Do you have a microphone? Do you have headphones with a microphone maybe?
No, I don't because sometimes with the headphone it's not
Right.
listening very well. So
And it's weird because I can hear you fine. Let's see. Do you want to try and speak now and see?
Yeah. Now maybe it's better. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the following question, and then I'm going to follow the chat room and see how people are, if they're hearing you better, because there is quite a bit of delay between our reality and what people see when it goes live. So, yeah, so let's see. Of course, my last question for you is now really going into the depth of what we want to talk about today. I think, which is food trends in 2021. I think that, okay, much better, yes, better, okay, perfect. Thank you guys. Sorry for this hiccup. I have no idea what happened. But fine. Thank you for letting me know, guys. So we want to know about food trends. We want to talk about food trends in 2021. Now, I have never had I've never had a great relationship with food trends because I realized that it's kind of a gamble. You have to anticipate things that will happen in the future, that could happen in the future, based on what you are seeing right now. And of course, I think that people who pick up on the real trends, people whose trends will actually become reality, do find them because they're very, very attentive to the details of the situations and the things happening around the world. So it's a very interesting as well as tricky subject, in my opinion. But this year, with what is happening in the world, there is, I mean, things are changing so fast and so everywhere, in not only everywhere geographically, but also in all type of disciplines and industries. So I think that, in my personal opinion, this year more than ever, I am very interested in learning about food trends for 2021, 22 and the future. Because this year more than ever, I feel that the future is unpredictable. So I need all the help I can get to figure out, our next steps. Having said that, with this very long introduction, I want to give you the floor on, please, tell us something that we can use to figure out how to plan our future moves in this industry.
Great. Yes, I agree with what you are saying, Francesca, and I think that what we need to see is like the changes, habits and behaviors people is nowadays having because of all what is happening. So what I have prepared for all of you is like a presentation where I'm going to show some changing habits that we have seen during the lockdown, and how some business have adapted to this with new business models, with new proposals, and then we're gonna see some of the trends that we can see for the future if we see how all have changed. There are a lot of trends that I'm excited about, and we are not talking in my presentation, but all that is happening around sustainability and healthy food is also really, really interesting. All about plant-based foods, carbon labeling, food waste prevention, functional foods, new ingredient that, for example, absorb CO2 or use less water. All these things are also happening, but I want to focus on the thing that have happened really during the lockdown. So yeah. I'm going to share my screen.
It sounds good. It also sounds like we're going to have another webinar.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I'm very, very happy that we are going to focus on the changes that the trends that are due to the situation that we have encountered this year. So we can focus on that, and we can, learn how to move in a world that is figuring that out, that is living with this situation. And maybe we're going to have another webinar with other trends that are more, I don't want to say general, they're not general, but they're less pandemic related.
Yes, less pandemic related, that's the word. Okay, so here are something that have happened to all of us, and some examples of how business have took this as an opportunity. So we are going to start with the most obvious one, that was like the work from home. On the work from home side and related with food, we have seen that people started eating more snacks and eating more like comfort foods to be like at home. So there was a huge opportunity for Snap to play up their creativity side with innovative flavors, packagings, and something new that consumers want in that moment, no? And this is an example that I really like it. There is like another snack box, but this one was made for employees working for home. It's a startup called Organico Inventory, And what they have done was creating some snacks so that the company can send this to the employees' homes so that they can feel better working at home. So I think this was a very good initiative. There are also another snack boxes. There are a lot of them that appear during the COVID, and the snack have grown a lot during this period. And Mondelez, for example, have talked about this and how all their products have been sold a lot during this time. So the other part was all the focus on health. So we have started seeing that the health was really, really important. This had been like seen years ago, but now it was like more than ever. People was looking for healthier options to improve their immune response. So the functional food around immunity also grown a lot. And here we have an example. This is from Lyon. This is a restaurant that is based in the UK. It's like a fast food healthy chain. And what they have done was like a new menu that was like focused on gut health. So it was with a lot of vegetables and fiber to have our gut like function really well, because in our gut is where we have all our immune response, like the 70%. And they have also created a range of retail products, including kefir, the probiotic drink that is really good for our immune system. So this is how they adapted this to the pandemic. There were a lot of under, for example, brands that were selling shoes, for example, the cold press shoes, and they have launched, for example, the immune pack, and they put it together, some of the shoes that were good for your immune system, and then selling them as a pack. And a lot of these initiatives appear also in the market, as well as a lot of new product developments around immune health. Then we have the other part that we all have started to cook more at home. People say that nowadays they have improved their skills, but they are all the time looking for like cooking helper, new kitchen gadget and inspirations. So all the brands need to look at this in their countries. How is this working? Something that appear a lot is like the kits. I know that most of us will know that like the meal kits, but there are other type of kits that appear in the market. For example, in the photo you can see the pickling kits. There were a lot of people starting doing another type of food at home, and pickles were one of these. Pickles also contains probiotics, so it links with the health and immunity trend. There were also an increase on all related with sourdough bread. So there are also nowadays some sourdough kits as well as seasoning meal kits. So they send you, for example, a lot of seasonings to create a different dish from around the world. There were also some increase in the sales of bread machines, crock pots, air fryers, and Thermomix, all this type of robots that help us cooking faster and easier at home. So this is something that also increased during the pandemic. Then, of course, we have these all new restaurant experiences. It's just not an ordinary food delivery. Some restaurant from fast food chains to Michelin star restaurant created some new menus and experiences using technology and creativity. And here we have the example of one Michelin star restaurant that is in Spain. It's Los Hermanos Torres. And they deliver 3 types of gourmet experiences at home. The box arrived with some of their top dishes, which includes also a dessert, chocolate, some wine and water. And also there you can find in the box a QR code where you can download a video where they tell you how to prepare the gourmet experience at home. So you can recreate this experience at home. The other part is the socializing part, no? Because social distancing didn't mean that we couldn't be socializing. So brands had there the opportunity to create experience for people at home. We have birthdays after office, Easter, and some friends meeting. And this is one initiative I like it a lot. It's the brand Brewdog, that is a beer from the UK, and they launched their online bar, as you can see in the picture. What they have done was like lead beer tastings. People can order by their e-commerce some of the product, and they can have a beer tasting with the founder and some beer experts. They also have done some homebrew masterclasses, virtual pub quizzes, Q&A, lead music, and giveaways. So this was a really good initiative, and I think they have a really good response by their customers. And this is another way of being like near your customers during this time. And it was like a brand from Colombia called Ramo. And what they have done was like changing the name of the product for hope messages. Here it says, well, like, we are together, and like hugs, and this initiative had been really well received through the social media network on Instagram, for example, where they received a lot of messages and love messages for the company. And of course, they increase a lot the brand love, I think, for the brand. Okay, then we have what is quality. Quality, I think nowadays is more than the expired date, and people is focusing a lot more on the quality, needing some extra trust from the retailers or from the delivery. And what appeared here was something on the delivery itself, that was the contactless delivery. This is example from Pizza Hut. What they done was like this claim called "Your food touched only by you," and it has become like a standard procedure for many industries. And the order is simply drop it off at a predetermined destination, and they send you a notification, like a text message or a mail or a call, so you can go to pick it up. And contactless delivery will continue to improve, and there is a lot of investment nowadays in new robots and drones that will appear in the market and will make disappear this connection in between two persons to make the delivery. Then this one is one of the most important. Also, is like supporting locals. The desire to shop local is reflected in both in the products the consumer is buying nowadays. That are, for example, locally sourced or artisanal. That is also related with sustainability and the way they shop, no? Supporting a community and the stores. And for this, the CPG brands will need to explore ways to connect locally. They can do it in different ways, and for example, by customizing from local needs or engaging in local relevant ways. And this is an initiative also from the UK, and it's a new e-commerce that appeared during the lockdown. It's called Mighty Small, and it's a supermarket just for small and local brands. And they also have these snack boxes and subscriptions. But there you can find just local brands from the UK, and they are all like startups and small brands with really cool products. So you can check it out then. Finally, we have all the plant-based future. COVID accelerated the shift towards plant-based foods. There have been around a lot of news about the potential ability of pathogens to infect humans from an animal host. So we have seen campaigns like this. This was a campaign made by PETA, which is an American animal rights organization. And what they have done is like this claim that says that tofu never caused a pandemic, where they say that we really need to change our food habits and start eating a lot more vegetables, because not also because of the planet, because of our health, or because of the animals. So nowadays we have another reason, that is like animals can cause the next pandemic. So there is again an increase on the plant-based consumption. And then the last one, that is this one, is direct to consumer. This is a new business models. Several brands like PepsiCo, like Heinz, like the biggest brand that we have always seen on the supermarkets. Now they are starting to have their own e-commerce, where they are selling customer a selection of the products. PepsiCo launched some webs just for their snacks, and Heinz also selected some of their products, like their beans or their ketchup. And this is the example of Heinz that started in the UK. What they have done in the e-commerce also is like giving the change of personalizing some of the product packaging with your name. So there are a lot of opportunities on the direct to consumer. One of them is that you can do personalized product, and the other one that is really, really interesting is that you can understand your customer very well. You can see their behaviors, and you can co-create and innovate in a better and faster way. So a lot of the big multinationals are doing this nowadays, to see how their customers are responding to this, and to learn a lot more about them. So this is a resume of what we have seen during the lockdown, and some of these adopted habits aren't going anywhere. And I made a resume of what I think that is here to stay. And here is a resume of a lot of other trends that we can have another webinar and talk in deep about all of them. But the first one is all about quality. That is going to be nowadays more important than ever. The contactless delivery will still be working. All about the fruit and veggie wash. We have now in the market a lot of products to wash our fruits and veggies, all related to traceability, and the smart labeling is going to continue being seen in the market. Of course, all related to e-commerce and delivery, click and collect, that is similar to contactless delivery. The QR codes, that with the QR codes we have a lot of possibilities nowadays. We can show how to do something. For example, if we send to our customers a box with something that they need to cook, we can send them a video with a QR code. We can ask for a review. We can send them to our website and give them a code, a discount code. There are a lot of things we can do with the QR codes. The interactive packagings, this D2C model, direct to consumer, and all related with the dark kitchens. Then we have all these new experiences that we are going to have at home. We have these premium meal kits. We have food delivery with entertainment, and we have virtual testing and cooking classes, for example. All related with the green future will continue to be a trend that we really need. And it's all the carbon neutral food and the plant-based food, all the plastic-free, reusable packaging, and the food waste prevention. And then the focus on nutrition that we are going to see through the functional food, through all related to gut health and personalized nutrition, and all related with mindful drinking, that the alcohol is now being not the fair option of most of the people. So, yeah. This is a resume of some of the trends.
Brilliant.
A lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of information. Thank you so much. Well, before I ask my questions, I want to say, everybody, if you have questions for Julia, write them down in the chat room. Muy interesante, sí, I can even pronounce that.
Muy bien, muy bien.
And yeah, would you say that I see right when I say that I see kind of it seems to me like there are two different paths that, the solutions, whether they're businesses or just products or just changing the labels, etc., are taking. One is towards um, dealing with the separation that we have encountered, separation between people, and dealing with it, reinforcing it, and the other is finding alternative ways to connect people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's like all related with equality. It's like this that we say, like, for example, that people can have this contact, so the contactless delivery now with drones or with robots or all these things, but we are humans and we still need this contact with people. So most of the brands what have done was these new ways of connecting. And yeah, there are really, really good examples that I think that most of brands should do from now on.
So what I'm thinking is that, from personal reason, from the type of human being that I've grown to be, when I see solutions like the Pizza Hut, what is it called, contactless delivery, the marketing of that proposition as it is right now seems to be, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to be focused on contactless. And therefore, they are reinforcing this concept of separation.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that the proposition itself is not valuable, right? Absolutely. I think that in this moment, deliveries are, safer than, other options, and well done to them. And what was the other businesses like Pepsi, etc., that you mentioned, that they are delivering directly at home. So this makes sense, but I wonder whether it wouldn't be more meaningful, and I'm using these words would be understood by those who follow me. Maybe it would be more impactful in a positive emotional consequence. I mean, to do the same thing, a contactless delivery, but designing it in a way that actually reinforces or that creates some type of connection.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the solution is. Of course, I'm just thinking out loud here. The beer brand that has created those beer tasting experiences, there is separation, or there is the proposition is dealing with this separation that we are facing, but it is focusing on connection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the proposition is about separation because we're not meeting in the same room, but it is focusing on connection. So I don't know. I wonder whether things like this contactless delivery couldn't be first of all marketed with a different goal, with the goal of connection, and second of all redesigned with some type of things that is going to make people feel closer to one another. For example, I was thinking the excellent ideas that, I don't know what brand it was it maybe more than one, that designed the snack or meal packages for their employees.
Yeah.
Was it just one brand or more than one?
The one that made for employees, yes, just one. Then there are a lot of other, but just snack boxes.
So an idea like that is one of those propositions, one of those ideas that gave me goosebumps. And when something resonates with my frequency, I get goosebumps. So I love that. And immediately my brain went, okay, these people have my food design thinking type of brain was thinking, okay, this brand is wanting to connect with their employees, making them feel not forgotten, making them feel, okay, we're not in the same office, but I am sending you something of mine, right? I'm creating this connection, and I'm sending you food. Brilliant. But immediately my, food design thinking mind started to think, to that we could add something else. We could redesign it so that instead of giving just food, and of course the experience that comes with the eating of food, there could be an extra layer of whatever that creates an even stronger, deeper, positive emotional outcome. Like, I don't know, exchanging pictures, or sending a written note that somehow travels through the different employees. I have no idea.
Something homemade could be something that someone do at home and share with their colleagues.
Right, So, excellent. Because I'm going to jump in the chat room in a moment, but the one thing that I'm thinking is, that the one thing that I've been thinking since this whole thing started is that, in Italy, for example, since September, with the second portion of the whole year, restaurants are closed at dinner. They have to close at 6, so you can't go out and have dinner. They can do delivery and the takeaway, but you can go and have lunch. And then, of course, the whole food. So this is just one example of what's happening in Italy. And in general, the whole food business, the whole hospitality industry has been very much affected by, what we are living. And I keep thinking, though, that we as food designers can really help figuring out things, can really help making this situation more bearable, or and to keep creating business opportunities, because human beings, you said it before, human beings need connection. It's one of our most basic needs. And food has been the things we have connected over since ever. And if we take away this connection, I fear for what will be the consequence. So to all food designers who are or business people who are thinking about startups, etc., what I would advise, the first thing I would advise for is, whatever you come up with, whatever idea you come up with, make sure that it brings back connection between people. And so it's interesting to see that many of the trends that you have found have this goal, but that also the other propositions are just fixing a problem in a quick way. Like, for example, I think we have seen, everyone has seen the plexiglass solutions over dinner table, etc. So that is a useful solution that allows the business to maybe, keep having people coming in, and we all want that for restaurant owners. But at the same time, it's a quick solution where we know that there wasn't any design behind.
Yes.
And at the same time, it's a solution that creates other problems. It emphasizes separation and environmentally, So let's see. Do you think these solutions for distance experiences will stay in place after the lockdown has been lifted and people can connect again in other places rather than home?
Yeah, I think that what we will have once this is end, I think that this will end sometime. It's like a mix. I think like with the retail and with the online, that now we were gonna see like a mix in between those. With the experience, I think it will be the same. We will have some online experience, because we have seen that some experience are good if we are doing it this way. For example, the virtual testings is a good idea. I think we can keep doing this, like just asking for some chocolates or beers or wines in an e-commerce, and then we have a virtual testing of, for example, some cooking classes. There is people who prefer that way, maybe because they want to take a class with some chef that is located in another country. So I think we will have a mix of experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. I think this whole thing, for how stressful it is for the whole world and sad, it's also a huge opportunity. And I think lots of amazing ideas, and you have shown some to us, are the result of taking this opportunity and making it work and coming up with great solutions. So I agree with you. Some things will stay, and it's just showing us what other path we can take. But it's like paper books versus ebooks.
Yep.
Right.
The same.
So ebooks are awesome for some reason, but books, I don't think they'll ever die. And so people will go back to the restaurant as well. So I think that as soon as I can go out to have dinner, I'm gonna be everywhere even more than before, because eating at a table with somebody gives you something that it can't be replaced. So it's a momentary, separation. And at the same time, we are seeing solutions that make total sense, and that will most definitely say, I agree with you. Samantha, do you think recreating experiences at home will replace traditional restaurants?
Traditional restaurants, I don't know, because I think that what we had was like a new experience, and new experiences are not for all type of people. So I think maybe this experience will be more for a millennial or new generation that are more accustomed to this, and maybe a person that is really traditional and loves being at the restaurant and the same ritual, they will not like this. But I think it's something that we need to learn a little bit more, and maybe could be or not, but we need to learn about what the customers say.
Absolutely. We have another question. Thank you guys for your questions. Absolutely. There is another question from Andres. What about virtual or augmented reality and food? Any connection?
Yes, I saw an example, but I haven't added to the presentation with augmented reality, because I didn't like it a lot. It was from, I don't remember exactly, but it was a cafe from somewhere that it was like through Instagram. You could, they added a filter, and you can buy their product and eat it at home, but they show you like their place. And so you can make like if you are eating in the place. In the moment, for me, it was something weird. But yeah, that could be interesting, like to replicate a place through augmented reality.
Definitely. I would be actually interested in knowing, Andres, from you. What are you thinking? Sounds like you have
something in mind.
Yeah, right. So let us know. Right. So another question that I had for you, I go back to my notes, is more personal, maybe, to you and your work. And I like to ask these few questions usually to more or less all my guests in these webinars, because I like to collect stories. And so here it goes. And what I wanted to ask you is, what is your biggest achievement so far, or your biggest discovery? And of course, within the world of food design, which is what we are interested in.
Okay, I think my discovery, for example, what I learned a lot was once I started to like talk with people and look at the context and this empathize with people needs and translate them into like solutions. I think that was like my biggest discovery with food design. I have an example of a brand I have been working with. They sell superfoods, like for example Matcha, and we started to talk with their customers, and they saw that people buy Matcha just once, but then they don't repeat. And starting talking with people, we found two different things. One was that people don't know how to use it very well, and they just think that they can drink it with milk and no other options. So they don't use it a lot, so they don't need to replace it or to buy another. And then we also found that they don't like the taste, that it was strong. So what we saw was that we have the opportunity to create a new product that was is something that is known now in the market, that is like the matcha latte, so that we can sell the matcha already mixed with coconut milk, and that the flavor would be like less strong. So I think this is what I have learned more about food design. What you can discover once you are in the market and really you talk with people, or you saw what they are doing or what they thought. So yeah.
Excellent. Sounds great. Is matcha considered a superfood?
Yeah, it's considered a superfood because it has like a lot of antioxidant in a small amount. So that is what superfood are considered, like that has a lot of one component in a small amount of product.
Right. Okay. The other question that I wanted to ask you is another question that I like to ask, because I think the biggest reason why I do what I do in work in general, but with these webinars as well, is giving inputs to people. I think there's a lot of interest in. There's a lot of people who want to do food design, who want to enter the world of food design, and it's not the most straightforward path. It's not the path with the most job, what are they called, job adverts out there, like looking for a food designer. You don't find that very often. So there's a lot of people with that are wanting to do this, that are wanting to jump into this industry, and and do things. So for them, for these people, I do most of what I do. So when I get the opportunity of sitting down and having a chat with various experts in this field, then I like to ask this question: what is the number one business advice you would give to those starting out in food design?
I think that when they are thinking about food design, they don't have to think just about having this tool to selling more. I think that people need to think about their purpose. So I think food design also, of course, helps you to sell more if you are designing something that is attractive to people. But I think that if you found that you can help the planet, you can help people life, and you can improve other things in the planet by doing this, is like much better. So I think that thinking about the purpose first would be like a good advice. And then something you repeat a lot of to us when we were doing your course is like, food design is challenging. You have to be all the time like questioning things and stay curious and ask, and you have to trust. You need to trust the process, but of course you need to enjoy it. You can't frustrate yourself once you are not finding the answer you think you have to found, because you're gonna find a lot of other things. And you have always to be like open mind, go outside of the box, and stay curious. That is, for me, the best advice for the ones who go to do that.
Excellent. Trust the process and forget about your assumptions. Whatever you think, you have to find something, right? Don't be frustrated if you don't find what you thought you had to find. when that happens, it means that you are on the right path. It means that you are finding out new things, and that brings the radical innovation. Excellent, Julia. I love that. Then last personal question. Then we'll see if there are other questions over here. We have a question from the other food. That is this person's name. What about food waste? So I think this we open the possibility for another webinar with food trends 2021-22 specific. Not specific. It's not pandemic specific. But is there anything coming to mind that has connected that you have seen people doing around food waste within this the topic of this pandemic?
Yeah, I have been reading some research and some things out there about this. And what I read was like people was now more aware about all the food waste because they are at home and maybe they are all day there and they are seeing this a little bit more like near. And they are trying to change their habits, but all about sustainability. They are trying to use less plastic. They are trying to buy organic. They are trying to buy local. But food waste, is something like really we need to talk. And there is a lot of things to talk about this. From how the customers can do things their own, how the industry can do this, and how food designer needs also from the design phase to avoid the food waste.
Definitely, it's a topic where a lot is happening, and thanks God, and a lot should keep happening. So definitely a conversation that we should keep having, and it's interesting, and it's good that there's people asking questions about this. So. About food waste in general, and there's all types of food waste, and I don't know, let's see, the other food, I don't know if you have already a background around food waste prevention and reduction, but there's a lot that we could talk about, the circular food economy, and there's a video about that on my YouTube channel, and a whole lot of things. But you gave me a good idea, actually, the other food that maybe maybe it's a good idea to maybe have a webinar just about this at some point. My last question for you, Julia, is again a personal question. What would you like to be remembered by?
Yeah, that is a difficult question, I think. I don't know. What I really like most about what I'm doing nowadays is like trying to inspire people to make like better decisions and better things. So maybe I would like to be remembered for that. Like she gave me the idea of this, so she inspired me for this. Like in a small thing, just maybe nowadays in this conversation we are inspiring someone to do something better, and tomorrow they came to the work and they say, I think that maybe we can change this or we can think about this. So yeah, I think maybe this could be a good remember about me, like inspiring people to make better things.
Excellent. I love that. Thank you so much. Julia, I think we are at the end of our webinar. This has been short and sweet, and we made it within 1 hour. I'm very proud of us.
I talk faster than usual. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Anything else that you wanted to point out? Any thought that came about or not? Perfect. Okay, so people can find you at the Instagram handle.
Is my personal is sustainable Dutch nutritionist, and then we have our studio Instagram, that is Kraut Food Studio. Okay. So you can follow us there, and we share some of the trends. And we also have a newsletter that you can subscribe. You have the link in bio, where we share a lot of trends weekly. So yeah, you can join us there.
And the URL for the website for the studio?
The WhatsApp is ongoing. It's not done yet,
okay.
but if you can follow us on our newsletter, and we will let you know about it.
And I'll try to remember to write all of this in the description of this video for those who will be watching the replay later on.
Great.
Julia, it has been a pleasure having you here and listening to you and to your insights and the way you talk with passion and heart. It's touching for sure. You have achieved your achievement. You have achieved what you want to be remembered by with me. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody who was here with us live and to those who will be watching later.
Okay, thank you to all.
Thank
See you.
Bye, Julia.
Bye.